NRL Fantasy Round 16 is in the books, and I was asked for a dad joke this week. So I'm going to jump in with one. This week was a bit of a pain in the Haas for me. Get it, guys? Pain in the heart. Okay. Anyway, we'll move on. So, as always, guys, we start with the top scorers of the week. Then we'll go through game by game, talk about what happened and how we want to react. Now, a few big pieces of news coming through this week, so I will go through those very quickly. A couple coming out of that Parramatta Titans game there as well. So, first up, top scorers, big man himself, Payne Haas, 101 points, coming off Origin there, backing up. Now, I was very strongly in the camp of holding Payne Haas myself, and all of the casual crew, everyone's stuck with Payne Haas, but I made the mistake this week of not starting him. I ran that Tarpanay loophole. I took the 70 points off Tarpanay, didn't get that 100 from Payne Haas, so I'm in a tough spot this week. But if you started him, you love it. He's an absolute machine, season keeper. Stoked to have him on my side, and you'd be stoked to have that 100 points in your counter as well. Mark Nwani Tuase, big game here. He started a bit quiet in this one and then really lit it up. The Roosters were unstoppable against the Cowboys, and the Cowboys, they're in a bit of trouble here, so we're seeing some big scores against them, and I think we're going to continue to see those big scores against the Cowboys. Then Trell Mitt, 75 points out of him. Look, a tough matchup there. You have to do a lot of work in this one, a lot of try assists as well. The Latrell Mitchell-Alex Johnson combination in particular was red hot in this game. He set up Tyrone Munro at one point as well. So, yeah, we saw Latrell back to his absolute best in this game. Absolute cracker of a game from him. Then Hugo Savala, a 72-point game out of him, and look, big Hugo. He just keeps on getting it done in different ways. Now, we'll go through the Roosters stats specifically, but he's a stone-cold killer and probably a guy that you're starting to think maybe a season keeper, potentially. We don't know how it works when Sam Walker comes back, but tell you what, I'm happy to start him in round 18. Braden Burns came in with a 71-point game here. Jimmy Tedesco cracked out a 70, so killer from him. You love Jimmy Teds, especially in a week where the wing fullback spot was not very strong. Herbie Farnworth with a 70, and then down the list here, I'll crack a few more 70s here. Bradman Best pumped out a big one, and Junior Barlow, he's been playing some big minutes this year. A bit inconsistent week to week, but the 70-point game out of him, and he played a lot of minutes in that Parramatta win. So shout out to him. I will shout out a couple more players here as well. Joey Tarpanay, 69 points. A lot of us had him. You love that. Aaron Clark, massive 69 points. Again, just getting it done in every way. And big, bad Harry Grant back on the scorers board here. And a guy that we should definitely consider as we go into round 19 in particular. So Harry Grant, hopefully, fingers crossed for me, is my long-term hooker plan. Now, let's tear into these games here and let's work back from the Eels v Titans back to the first game on Friday night. And just a reminder this week too, it was 3 games on Sunday, 3 games on Saturday, and a lighter load there with only 1 game on Friday, nothing on Thursday. Now, for Parramatta and the Titans here, a bit of a spread of Parramatta, Eels, and Titans players. Junior Barlow, we mentioned him, 70 points, 56 minutes. Not really on my radar, to be transparent, but is a bit of a stud this year. And if you're in a draft league, you can stash him, that'd be good. But otherwise, I'm going to skip this one. Jamin Jolliffe played bigger minutes with the Origin boys backing up, so he got inflated minutes, grabbed a try there as well. I'm not reading into this one either. Not enough buy coverage to consider him. Dean Hawkins, moderately interesting at 439K. There's a good chance that he'll play next to Dylan Brown as well. So Brown will come back next week, probably take that 6 jersey. Hawkins will stay in. Now for him, 564 kick meters is the big news here. So dominant kicker. You've got moderately solid defensive work rate there, 18 tackles, no misses, 74 run meters here, and he was creative in attack, so he nearly had a few more attacking stats than this, but the try assist, 2 line breaks. Probably not a guy on many radars, really, like not enough buy coverage and all that, but if you're a team who started the year late or you're very behind on cash, this could be a bit of a masterstroke for you. So just keep an eye on him, and we'll see how it lines up next week. Kamal Tuolangi went off for HIA, came back. Big defensive work rate here. 3 offloads definitely helps. 63 points here. Chris Randall grabbed a try and 60. Bo Firma, this is classic Bo Firma here. Kicked a goal, which is nice to see, but 143 meters run, 1 offload, 1 tackle break, 37 tackles. That's just very solid. 58 points there from Bo Firma. Kioni Kautonga had one of his better games here, so the 4 tackle breaks, 200 meters run definitely helps. 35 tackles with only 2 misses and a line break here. Very solid. Jack Williams, we talked about him as a good head-to-head target. 57 points here for him. So, again, just getting work done. 57 in 63 minutes. Khan Pereira grabbed 2 tries on his way to 57 points here. Sean Russell grabbed a try. 52 points from him. Been quietly solid, actually. Isaiah Yongi, 3 try assists. That definitely helps, doesn't it? And he was electric tonight. Really stepped up in the absence of the Parramatta halves. So, yeah, 50 points from him was very solid. You thought it might be more, actually, in the first half, but sort of cooled off in the second half there. Zach Lomax, I think his impact was bigger than 49 points here, but look, you'll take the 49 there. That try assist was his only real attacking stat, where he sort of flicked the ball back to Penasini, who scored that try. Then Verrills, Hopgood, Fodawaker, Penasini, Walker, Sami, Lussick, all in that sort of 40s area. Joey Lussick played big minutes here, so came into start. We'll talk about Riley Smith in a sec, but Joey Lussick did get some inflated minutes due to injury. Kieran Foran with a 39, Riley Smith, the 36 and 35. Now, this one's frustrating because Riley came on at about the 30-minute mark, so he was going to play about 50 minutes in this game. It would have led to sort of a low 50s score, but unfortunately, he got benched in this one and then went off in this game due to a cut on the leg, which is just such an annoying injury. Like, he should be okay for next week, but we have seen players like Jeremy Marshall-King, for example. We've seen players miss extended periods of time with cuts on the leg and that kind of thing. So I wouldn't say that Riley Smith is a certainty to play next week. Now, if you're a Riley Smith owner, the move to the bench is enough to probably say that it's probably time to sell him. If you need a hooker for round 18, then moving him to Damien Cook makes a lot of sense. And if you don't need a hooker for round 18, then you buy someone who's not a hooker. That's really as simple as it is in my head. So personally, I'm thinking about Riley Smith to Damien Cook next week. Josh Papali'i played in the 6 jersey, 30 tackles, 1 miss. That was really his output here. A lot of early passing from him. So I think if he gets more comfortable and gets a stint in first grade, he'll bring that running game out a bit more. But tonight it was really just a very sort of safe game from Josh Papali'i, so let the other guys take over. Charlie Geimer, Addo Carr, Alec Bianchi, yeah. Well, down the list here, Big Tino, only 38 minutes for him, 24 points. The stats weren't bad for him, 144 meters run in that 38 minutes, but just no attacking stats there, no tackle breaks, no offloads, no Mayo stats for him. Then down the list here, Joe DeFeeta, Brimson, really quiet from Brimson. You would have expected more from him, especially with 200 meters run, only 20 points there. And down the bottom here, Jaden Campbell, and we've got to talk about this one. Tough one. Only made it through 27 minutes in this game. 7 points here. I wouldn't read into the score too much. It's more he went off for a HIA. It was ruled a Category 1 HIA. He then passed the HIA test, but due to the fact it was ruled Category 1, he was not able to return. Now, my guess on this one is that they, based on him passing the HIA test, will contest this and he will be back next week. That's my guess. But you'll need to wait for official confirmation on that. It'll probably be later in the week too. So we may not know by Tuesday, but we will know if he's named on Tuesday. So let's keep an eye on that one. I think he's a good chance of playing next week. The 7 points is absolutely brutal. And if you're a non-owner, then he is perfectly poised as a buy in round 19. So great news for non-owners there. And, great news because Jaden Campbell is all good. That's the big thing there, right? I think because he's passed his HIA, he should be solid. Next up, Roosters and the Cowboys, and we can tear through this one because there's some monster scores here up the top. Mark Nawani Tuase grabbed the 81 points here, 2 tries from him, 8 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, 245 meters run, an attacking masterclass from him. That average is now up to 48 points. It just keeps on climbing there. So if you've got him in your team, you're obviously keeping him for round 18, but he may be someone you keep for even longer than that. Hugo Savala with the 72, and I always find it interesting to look at these stat lines for Hugo. 562 kick meters is a great start, really solid base there. 33 tackles, 1 miss. He's proving to be a bit of a defensive juggernaut in that half spot. Then you go for 100 meters run, 1 forced turnover, 1 offload, 3 tackle breaks. That's very encouraging, by the way, for Hugo. That's one thing we weren't seeing early on, and we're starting to see more of that, as well as the line break and try assist. So for Hugo Savala, we're seeing him unlock more and more as this time goes along, and the Roosters look better and better. And I'll tell you what, it's going to be hard to sell him. Like, he's probably not quite a keeper, but it's going to be tough to move him on because he's putting out some really big scores here. Braden Burns with a 71, grabbed the try there, 8 tackle breaks, 5 offloads. It was a great game from Burns, but hard to trust with some hamstring issues and some soft tissue issues Braden Burns has had over the years. So I like Braden Burns a lot as a player. I think in draft leagues you can go grab him, but for a classic team you're not going to do it. Then Jimmy Tedesco grabbed the 70 here. Again, reading out the stat line here, two line breaks, a try, 10 tackle breaks for 20 points, offload, turnover, 200 meters plus run. Classic Jimmy Tedesco here. This was, prestige Tedesco. Connor Watson bounced back from Origin, 80 minutes here, grabbed 64 points, very solid stat line across the board, had a try, 40 tackles, 150 run meters. That's just Connor Watson doing what Connor Watson does. Nafahu White, 60 points here, had the 6 tackle breaks, 200 meters run, which definitely helps. No negative stats across the board, very strong PPM. Then Fiketti is one that we were pushing this week as one of the good cheapies as well. So for Fiketti, you had the try assist here. You had the 39 tackles there, 89 meters run, played 80 minutes there. Just a very strong performance from him. And if you grabbed him, you're pretty stoked with that one. Even if you didn't score him this week, you're loving that score and you're loving the price rises because he will be effective in round 18 as well. Billy Smith, 2 tries there, 57 points. Harrison Edwards got a 55 here. Just a lot of minutes there, a lot of work he got through. Gus Crichton with a 50. Gus is getting very cheap, by the way. He's at 611K. He'll be even cheaper next week. So post-Origin, Gus Crichton might be one that is on my radar. Griffin Neem, Hess, Blake Steep, Bateman, Talangi, Lawton starting at hooker, Collins and Lenu all in that 40s area. Rob Toyer with a 38 here backing up from Origin. Sandon Smith at 35. I still am okay with selling Sandon if you want to do that. But yeah, he's scoring sort of limited, right? He needs a lot of big attacking plays to crack 50 points. And even this game, it's a 35 with 2 try assists, a line break, right? So you want a bit more out of your halves there. Then McLean, Tupou, Leibart, Iolu just getting work done there. 31 points for him. Nanai coming off the bench with a 30. McIntyre, Drinkwater. Man, Drinkwater's in trouble. If the Cowboys just keep getting smashed, then there's not much Drinkwater can do. That's the issue here, right? So, I mean, if you're holding on to Drinkwater, I think he's a hold. He's getting cheap. And, you can't do that much with him right now. And wing fullback spot is in trouble anyway. So, I think you hold Drinkwater, but if you think the Cowboys are just going to get smashed for the rest of the year, then, it's hard to turn around. Now, they were missing a few players. They were missing Cotter and Robson in this game. So I'd expect them to bounce back next week, but Drinkwater is going to be down below 550K. So he is dropping cash at a rate of knots here. In terms of the stat line here, bit of kicking there, 250 kick meters, 110 run meters, 5 tackle breaks there for Drink, but no attacking stats is the issue there. Jackson Purdue with a 21. Look, Purdue's very sellable, but you got to figure out what you're doing at center in round 18. That's the big concern there. So for my team, I'm probably keeping Purdue just for round 18, but I'm starting to reconsider that because he's just dropping so much cash now. Tommy Dearden backing up from Origin, grabbed a 20. Then Derby, Duffy, Saw Wong down with that MCL injury. He could be out for a period of time. Wait for confirmation there. But if you're a Saw Wong owner, you're probably going to be moving him on this week. Then Kai O'Donnell, Zach Clay, not getting enough minutes there to be worth talking about. So let's keep tearing through these games. We've got the Broncos and the Sharks next. And, man, the Broncos snatched this one. Look, they were looking dead for all money. And then they sort of riled right up. And the Sharks, as has been the case this year, couldn't go with a team that was fired up. And so there it was. Payne Haas is a big part of it. 101 points here for Payne Haas, 59 minutes played. 40 tackles, 9 tackle breaks, 6 offloads, all to hand, a forced turnover, and 200 meters run. You have 1 missed tackle and 1 penalty. It's absurd. It's absurd. It's absolutely incredible what this guy is doing on the back of playing Origin. In these games where he's backing up, and in these games where he's in a bit of doubt too. Like, he was in doubt for that Origin game with the groin issue. Came out here, just absolutely messed them up. He got a few rests in this game, so I think he is feeling the effects a bit. But even with that, he is dominating. So yeah, Payne Haas, at this stage, if you sold him hoping he'd drop some cash, you're not happy about it. And if you've kept him, keep riding the wave. He's a possible captain option for next week, to be honest. So if you want to jump on him as captain, there'll be a bit of a pod. Probably not that much of a pod, but a bit of a pod there. Now, Blake Brayley grabbed the try here. Brayley's been in form lately. The attack from Brayley's been pretty fantastic. So the try and the line break there, 51 tackles from him, 50 meters run, very solid. Tony Staggs with a 60 here too. The 4 line breaks and 10 tackle breaks is definitely what carried him to that. No tries though, pretty impressive there, but Staggs just doesn't have that week to week. That's my concern there. But at some point in his career, I do think Staggs will be fantasy relevant. Britton Nakora with a 60, back-to-back 60-plus games from him. Had the line breaks, 2 line breaks there, a try assist, 2 offloads, very solid stats. Still a few missed tackles there, but he's been solid. Reece Walsh, and 473K. If you jumped on him as your wing fullback option, you're pretty happy. 60 points here. Had the 2 try assists, a line break, 3 line break assists. So he's very involved in the attack. 5 tackle breaks there, 3 offloads, and nearly 200 meters run with some kicking as well. I'm pretty tempted by this one. And look, the problem for my team is I probably don't need another fringe wing fullback. So I've already got Turbo and I guess Garrick as well. So I've kind of got a few guys filling that spot. But if you need a wing fullback for this week, I think Walsh is primed right now for the acquisition. So give him a look there. The only risk is that he might steal the Origin spot from Ponga, but with Queensland winning that last game, it's probably quite unlikely that happens. Fanua Blake, 53 points in 66 minutes. So for him, pretty safe stat line here. Just no offloads there. A few less run meters there. Made a line break, but just not one of those explosion games for Fanua Blake. And then Reynolds with a 51, solid. Nico Hines, 50. Nico Hines, man, I was so ready. I was so ready to do victory laps. He was on 37 at halftime, had the try. He bumped up to about 45 in about 45 to 50 minutes. and then got about 5 points in the last half an hour of footy. It was just back and forth. Like, he was just going up and down and up and down. He was on about 52 with about 15 minutes to go, and then just dwindled. It was so frustrating. The 3 errors, 2 missed tackles, they were a big part of it. Sorry, the 1 error, 4 missed tackles, and the penalty as well definitely doesn't help. So for Nicho Hynes, he showed glimpses in this game. He definitely showed glimpses, and my whole case with Hynes, right, because I'm a Hynes holder right now, I'm not fully convinced. My case was I didn't think it was worth trading Hynes to Jarom Hughes. So I felt like it was a bit sideways. You save a little bit of cash. I think they're similar scorers. I don't think there's a big difference there. And I was correct, but I just wanted to be more correct. I wanted Hynes to pop off for 60 plus. So, yeah, a bit of a frustrating one, but there were signs of life there. So I'm going to stick with him for a bit longer. Cam McInnes, 50 and 56. Xavier Wilson grabbed to 50 here as well. Some big attacking stats from him. Shibasaki, 2 tries for the 47. You love to see that if you have him, but I don't think many still have Shibasaki. Corey Peggs grabbed a try. Ezra Mam grabbed a try. Hetherington, good PPM from him, but not on the fantasy radar. See for Talakai, if you got on Talakai, you love a try, you love 6 tackle breaks, and you love 176 meters run. He's a bit of a machine, grabbed a 42 for you. Ramian, bit of a resurgence to form, but looked a bit hurt at times here, so 41 for him. Rudolph, Colquhoun, if you got on Colquhoun as a cash out, 41 points in 59 minutes, the minutes are pretty huge. Like, I think that's actually what kind of capped Fanua Blake here too, because Colquhoun absorbed a lot of those minutes and is becoming a bit of a contributor in this Cronulla pack. Karapani grabbed 2 tries. He was on 3 points at halftime, ended up on 40. So a bit of volatility there. Then Carrigan, a bit quiet. Ricky, Jensen, Wilton, Kennedy, Hamlin, ULA, Piakura. Piakura played the 66 minutes there. Jezewski played 29 minutes, so mainly spelled Piakura. But Piakura, 28 points there. You're not super stoked if you got on him. 2 forced turnovers, though. He is a defensive machine. Braden Trindle, 26. Katoa, Puru, Jezewski, Walters, Arthurs. Yeah, Arthur's really quiet. Mulatalo, 5 points. So he might be cheap enough to consider at some point soon. Atkinson, and then no one else down there. So we'll keep them rolling through these games. Rolling through, it's South Sydney v the Storm. And this is a cracker. Storm got up in this one, but South Sydney were all up in this game. And Latrell Mitchell in particular was all up in this game. Now, the Storm got up about, I think, was it 10-0 or 12? I think it was 12-0 very early in this game. They grabbed the 2 tries in the first 10 minutes. Looked like they were going to do it easy, and South really stalled their momentum. So for Latrell here, 4 try assists definitely helps there. Doing the goal kicking, 4 tackle breaks, 137 meters run, 625 kick meters. And the big thing here was Latrell, like the try assists are great, but Latrell was looking for the ball, and he was sort of looking like he wanted to run the ball a bit more than previous weeks. So Latrell's looking ominous, and about round 19, round 20, that's when you're going to be looking at Latrell. Now, they got the bye in round 19, so he gets a rest after Origin. So it's going to be round 20 that we are thinking, all right, is it time to buy Latrell? Funnily enough, that's the week where you get 8 extra trades as well. So, yeah, Latrell's going to be on a lot of radars. Alex Johnson grabbed 4 tries, 69 points. Not many have him, but if you do, you're laughing. Harry Grant with a try here, 50 tackles, 74 meters run. Very solid game from him. Hopefully he can keep this up because I'm planning to buy him in round 19, round 20 as well. Keon Kolomatangi with a 57 here. So for him, no attacking stats there. 3 tackle breaks, no offloads. 232 run meters, nothing to be balked at there. And 34 tackles. So very solid sort of base game for Kolomatangi. Then we've got Grant Anderson with a 55. Duncan got a 53. Impressive game from Duncan. So 42 tackles, 0 missed tackles. That's the bit that surprised me. 98 meters run, 1 tackle break there, no offloads, no attacking stats. I thought he might be plagued a bit more with a few missed tackles there. I thought the Storm might throw a bit more at Duncan, but he stepped up. He stepped up. And that sort of score in a game where he didn't get the big attacking plays, that 53, that's his best 53 we've seen from Duncan. So, yeah, that's a good indicator. If you're a Duncan owner, I'm not a Duncan owner, but if you're a Duncan owner, that's a great sign that he could be solid for a longer period of time. Jai Arrow played on the edge, grabbed 52. Jack Howarth with the 51 here, 183 run meters definitely helps that one. He pumped out some big work here, so no attacking stats, 51 points. If you're a Howarth buyer, you love to see that. King got a 49. Eli Katoa with a 47 there. So for Katoa, it was 168 run meters, 35 tackles, and basically nothing else here. 3 missed tackles, 1 tackle break, no offloads there, no attacking stats. Look, that's kind of what you expect from Katoa. So a 47 plus attacking stats is a great base for Katoa. He does have attacking stats more often than not as well. So that's what's going to push him past 50, past 60, past 70 in future weeks. Sean Bloor with a 46 always gets that 3-minute rest. Jarom Hughes, a 43. Grabbed that try. It was only an 8-point try. Outside of that, the downer here is 48 run meters, 1 tackle break, no offloads. So just didn't really sort of look for it with the ball in hand. Not that running game that we did see in that last game before the bye, but we didn't see here. So if you're a Jerome Hughes owner, you bought him at 576K. He's priced at about a 43 anyway. So that was a pass mark, but you do want to see a bit more out of him. But at the same time, like, you bought him for the buys. He covers around 18. He definitely has upside there. He's not going to get cheaper than he is now. So I wouldn't be too upset about that acquisition. Pappenhausen, yeah, look, try assist definitely is solid there. The field goal helps, 43 points. It sort of saved his score a bit. Just no tries there, minimal sort of tackle breaks there, and not a lot of run meters. So 43, you can live with it. Cam Munster with a 42. Again, 100 meters plus run. Didn't really kick the ball at all. 20 kick meters there. 5 missed tackles, no attacking stats. Again, 40 for Munster without attacking stats. I'm a Munster owner, right, as you guys know. So I can live with that. I'm okay with that. I just wish there were a few attacking stats on that score. You and Aitken got a 41 at center. Again, if you're an Aitken owner, you can live with that, right? Like, I feel like I'm saying that a lot, but that 40 at center from Aitken was actually quite impressive, and he looked for the ball a ton. 160 run meters here was very solid from Ewan. Then Jamie Humphries with the 40. Wishart grabbed a 40 in 23 minutes. He's a PPM machine at times, Wishart. Big attacking stud. Loiero grabbed a 40. Atoka Manu, only 35 minutes here for 39 points. Whiten played in the halves for a 34. Munro grabbed a try and grabbed 34. Totola, Faolongo, Nas, Hubner, all around that low 30s mark. For Hubner, 30 points in 59 minutes is not good at all. Now, I was quietly confident that Hubner would get a few more minutes this week if Koloamatangi was out. Koloamatangi played, but Hubner still got the extra minutes there. So the 59 minutes is fantastic, but you got 36 tackles, 100 meters run, no tackle breaks, no offloads, no attacking plays, just 7 missed tackles, so minus 14 there, and a penalty there for minus 2. So that's what really nailed his score down. Gray at hooker for South Sydney, 26 points in 38 minutes. Not going to have a spot long term though, so I wouldn't invest in that one. Vili came back from injury, got to 25. Kamitha Mitha started in this game, only scored a 20 though. Meany with a 19, so he's getting a bit cheaper and might be interesting at some point, but probably not going to be on any radars. Moale with an 18. Again, looked good at times, but just didn't go on with it. Tass with a 14. McDonald, LeBlanc, and Kepi really quiet in this one. Now, tearing into the next game, we've got a few issues in this game. So Dolphins v Knights, and we'll talk about Fletcher Sharp in a second because there's a bit to come out of that one, and there's some advice to come with that too. Now, we'll start at the top. Herbie Farnworth grabbed a 70, as did Bradman Best. So both of these guys at the center spots. I did make a video on Thursday sort of shouting out that they were my 2 favorites for the week at the center spot. Stoked with how that went. But in terms of Herbie, really minimal attacking stats here. Had some line break assists, but for him, you got a 70-point game on the back of 19 tackles, 5 tackle breaks there, 5 offloads, 200 meters run, and a few line break assists, but no tries, no line breaks, no try assists there. So for Herbie Farnworth, very, very, very solid game. Very solid for a center. Bradman Best was a more traditional center score here, so 2 tries there, a try assist, and grabbed the 70 points there on the back of 200 meters run as well. So for Bradman Best, he's back. If you played 18, I would be talking about him as a funny pod, but at the center spot, it's pretty crowded. We don't really need a guy like Bradman Best. Dylan Lucas grabbed a 59 here. No attacking stats there. Pure base. A couple tackle breaks there. Very, very strong performance from Lucas. Donahue with a 59 as well. Try assist here, but other than that, 42 tackles is very strong. He just keeps getting it done. So you got on the Donahue Express. You're pretty stoked with that one. Brayley played 80 minutes, got 54 points, and the fact that they won this game might keep him in that hooker spot a bit longer. 51 tackles for 54 points. That's sort of what Brayley does. Callum Ponga came back with a 50, 179 meters run, so pretty solid run meters there. You have the 5 tackle breaks, 2 try assists. It wasn't the explosion game from Ponga, but it was solid. So if you're a Ponga owner, you hang on a bit longer and just sort of see what happens here. Look, you wouldn't be too upset about it because most of the options you would have been considering, Jaden Campbell, as well as Fletcher Sharp, these guys got hurt or didn't go that well this week. Drink water, so you're probably happy with Ponga at this stage. Then Croker, 49, Hammer, 47, Jones, Nicarima, Stone, Crossland, all in the 40s, mid-40s there. Isaiah Katoa with a 41. Now, Isaiah Katoa, we can talk about this one a bit. So the 41's a bit lower than what you expect here from Katoa, but you can't be too upset. If this is sort of his floor game, a 41, then you're doing absolutely fine. As a non-owner of Katoa, I'm still very jealous of you guys. Now, try assist here definitely helps. 25 tackles, 5 missed tackles. That's a big count for Katoa. He's normally much more solid in that defense. You've got 63 run meters here compared to his usual sort of 100, 110 run meters there. So a bit low on the run meters there, a bit high on the missed tackles. It meant a 40 score. I wouldn't panic about that one at all. Frizzell, 39 points. Kai Pierce-Paul grabbed the 38. And Pierce-Paul, as an owner, I'm not super stoked about this one. Ball did not go his way at all. No tackle breaks here. You have 66 run meters. You want that up around 100, 110 for him. So just didn't get the opportunities here, Kai Pierce-Paul. And I don't know, maybe it's because Best was back. They sort of went that way instead. We'll have to look at this one. And if the trend forms that they're just going to go back to the left side attack all the time, then Kai Pierce-Paul might be one that we drop off the radar, especially considering he's leaving Newcastle at the end of the year. If he moves to the Tigers, that's probably a different conversation. I think he could be good at the Tigers. I mean, Tigers have less buys than the Knights, so that could be an upgrade if he goes to the Tigers early, because obviously he's signed for the Tigers next year. So we'll have to look at that if it happens, but I think it's an upgrade to the buy schedule and it's a downgrade to his scoring production. Colgar with a 38, Fletcher Sharp, 37 points in 47 minutes, grabbed the try there. But for Fletcher Sharp, this is a tough one. So he stayed in Perth to get some treatment on, I think it was a lacerated kidney was what I heard there. So something very medical, right? Not really like a traditional footy injury. He went down with the HIA there as well, but the lacerated kidney is what was going on there. And just correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, by the way, if it was something else. But I'm remembering it was a lacerated kidney there. So for him, it's sounding like 4 to 6 weeks is the initial guess from people around the space. Now, you have to wait for an official confirmation there, but if it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks, Fletcher's been fantastic this year. Absolutely love him, but it's going to be a sell. It's going to be a sell. If it's 4 to 6 weeks, there's just not enough time in the season left, and we're already missing Roosters players next week, so he will have to go. Thomas Kant, Finafuyaki, Asako, Gagai, Marshall King, Schiller, Young back at the Knights. Love to see it. And how good does he look in his Knights jersey? Beautiful. Good stuff, mate. Lemuelu, Averillo, Nichols, Keeley, all in that sort of 30s area. Then Molo McEwen. Yeah, look, Bostock's probably the other one I got to mention here. So if you're a Jack Bostock owner, you've had a bit of bad luck there. If you bought him before the 100, at least you got the big score, but pretty bad knee injury for him. Pretty sad news as well, because he was looking absolutely fantastic the last couple of weeks. So yeah, that sucks for Jack Bostock, and it sucks for people who bought Jack Bostock. So my condolences there. Wait for official confirmation, but it sounds like a pretty long-term injury. Now, into the Warriors and the Panthers. And we've got Aaron Clark here. Big Clarkito. He's up there with the 69 points again, just pumping 65 minutes, 43 tackles, 7 tackle breaks. He got 143 meters run, so you love to see that. Scotty Sorensen grabbed the 68. Actually, sorry, on Clark, I will say a couple of injuries to the team. So Nia Corey ruled out early. They had a few other guys sort of go down as well. So I think the minutes were boosted a bit. I do think there is a chance that we see him drop back into that sort of 50 to 60-minute role. Just keep that in mind. I still think he's one of the best hookers in the game, probably the best hooker in the game, even if he plays 50 to 55 minutes. But if you're a Clark owner, just factor that in, that the minutes will drop back if the Warriors have a single week without multiple injuries, but they just don't seem to. Then Scott Sorensen, 68 points, 2 tries. That's great. Jacob Laban grabbed a 63 here, grabbed a try. Bit of a sign for the future, probably for Jacob Laban, more than a guy that we're targeting right now. Jackson Ford played big minutes here as well, so absorbed a bunch of minutes here too. And for him, the try definitely helps. Ford's been quietly having a great season, averaging 50.1 here. So grabbed the 61 here. Schneider can pump out some fantasy points and grab the 61 here, but not on our radar. Liam Henry, 54 and 53. I know a few guys who bought him for the first buy had to sell him due to the suspension, but there he is, proving he can get it done even off the bench. Moses Leota stepped up with a bunch of guys out, 50 points in 42 minutes. Then we've got Jenkins, Talangi, Metcalf, Graham Taufar, Nick Lockstar, Alamodi, Papali'i, Garner, Valmanga, all in that sort of 40s area. Now for Jenkins, I thought the Warriors were going to towel up the Panthers, and they didn't. And Jenkins grabbed a try, a line break, a try saver, 5 tackle breaks, 156 run meters, and he looked fantastic. So I'll eat humble pie on this one. I didn't think the Panthers would rock up. I thought the Warriors would get it done. A few mid-game injuries definitely helped the Panthers in this one, but Jenkins played well. So if you had him and you started him, you got a pretty good score out of him. I still do think he's a guy you want to move on before round 18. Blaze Talangi, solid. Metcalf carrying an injury in this one, so that really slowed him down. You can see the 30 run meters there is a big indicator of sort of where he was at with that quad. So quad cork was what he copped there. It should be okay for next week is my guess, but It did look pretty painful, so it might be one where they just give him a rest next week and bring him back for round 19. If I had Metcalf on my side, I'd probably still keep him at this stage. It didn't look like it was going to be something that would bother him post their next bye. Then down the list here, who else we got here that we really want to talk about? I mean, Papali'i only played 40 minutes there, 42 points is good. Valmarga keeps on producing at that PPM, just not quite getting the minutes there. Fisher Harris, 41 points in 51 minutes is pretty modest from him. Just no tackle breaks, no offloads there. 44 tackles is solid, but nothing extra. Didn't crack the 100 meters there. So for him, really not a great game from him against his old club. Egan played the 80 minutes, which is encouraging if you're an Egan owner or if you're someone considering Egan for later in the year. So keep an eye on him. Then Kenny, Laurie, Lindsay Smith, actually quite quiet. I expected him to be pretty big this week, but 35 points in 57 minutes was not what you expected if you're a Lindsay Smith owner. RTS, McLean, Halasima, Patea, Harris Tavita, Pompey, Tungo, Eisenhuth, Martin. Yeah, look, not a lot to talk about down here. I mean, Isaac Tungo, I think we can officially sort of say that his days of being a fantasy gun are behind us. And now that I say that, he'll come out and score 100 next week. But he just doesn't feel like he's that guy for fantasy anymore. Still playing decent footy, but just not that guy for fantasy consistently. Niokore, out after 11 minutes there, so that definitely impacted the rotations quite a bit. And Watene Lesniak as well. 39 minutes played in this game. He'll be out for a pretty extended period, is my understanding. So that lower leg injury could rule him out for a long time. Then last game of the round, and then we'll go through some sort of thoughts overall. So for the Tigers and the Raiders here, Big Joey Tarpanay started the week well. I was pretty stoked to see this. Was out on the town with Bergs and a few others, and he got a 69 for us here. So you love that with a try saver. The issue here is 48 minutes played. Not encouraging. I would love to see those minutes float back up to 55 minutes, but regardless, I like the explosive play. I'd love a couple of tackle breaks and a couple of offloads from him. I think it'll come. He's going to play round 18, so just got to cop it and roll with this one. Terrell May, lower minutes for him. So 68 minutes for Terrell May. It's a bit concerning, not deeply concerning, but a little bit concerning. We're dropping back from that 75 minutes down to 68 there. 2 tackle breaks, 3 offloads, nearly 200 meters run, 37 tackles. Like, he's doing a job here. He's absolutely doing a job, but the minutes dropping down does make other captain options worth considering. And I say that, but a few of you guys did jump on Jaden Campbell as a captain. I think he was the second most popular captain this week. So the risk of the other captains is definitely there. But I look at him and I think, all right, maybe Payne Haas next week. Terrell May versus Payne Haas. It's a big conversation. Now, Terrell May is playing potentially for an origin spot next week. So maybe he does step up. I just think Terrell May is, with these minutes dropping back, a little bit more contestable as your captain, right? If he's playing 75, 80 minutes, probably not contestable, but 68 minutes, we can talk about it. Josh Papali'i playing 51 minutes here, so back-to-back big minute games from him. Playing more minutes than Tarpanay is weird. It's very surprising to me. He's playing good footy, though, so I can't really, say it's hurting the Raiders here. Had a try assist, though, 38 tackles, 120 run meters. He's getting the job done across the board. So if he keeps on absorbing more and more minutes there, it's bad news for Tarpanay. Jerome Luai, another 50-plus score. We talked about this, and I was excited to buy him this week. I was going to buy him for sure. And then he got named for Origin, and it ruined it. But look at this, 118 run meters there. So the run meters are season best, back to back to back to back. You got the 2 offloads, 4 tackle breaks, try assist there, no tries or anything like that. Decent kick meters without being special there. So Jerome Luai, if he wasn't playing Origin, he'd be in my team already. I'm pretty salty about this one, actually, because my Eels don't have Moses, and my fantasy team doesn't have Luai now. So tough go. Adam Dewey, 52. Starling grabbed a 51 with a try. Corey Horsburgh played big minutes here, nearly 60 minutes, only 49 points there, so a bit quiet. Stafford Toa, nearly 50 again. He just keeps on getting it done. Fainu, so that's Samuela. What a bit of a bounce back here. Actually, not the worst option. Like, if you were targeting someone as a real cheap option for those later rounds, and you only had a certain amount of cash, Fainu's at 407K. He'll come up a bit here, but he had some injury-affected games earlier in the year. That is definitely a risk. But if he's coming back to that 40 tackles, 117 meters run, possibly some attacking plays, then Fainu could be one that has a bit of a late-season surge and is a bit of buy-round cover if you're really desperate. Matt Tomoko with a 46, Pole 45, Fogarty with a 44 here. It was goal-kicking again. Just didn't really grab any of those extra stats for him, so no attacking stats. So the 44 is kind of his base. Latu Fainu, 44 points in 53 minutes. He is pumping numbers in that middle forward spot. Now for him, try assist, line break, the 16 tackles, 108 meters run. He is crushing it. Coruscant, 42, played the 80 minutes, which is encouraging, but I was thinking maybe he wouldn't with Talon De Silva originally named. So if you need a hooker, you could do worse than Coruscant if Talon De Silva is not in the team. Smithies, 41 and 43. You keep him for round 18 for sure. Hosking sort of plotted through this one. 44 tackles, 41 points. Just doesn't have that attacking upside anymore. No tackle breaks, no offloads. I'm not sure what's going on there because I think Hosking is much better than his recent performances suggest. Then Twile with a 40. Seyfarth, Chris, Fainu, Mariota, Young, all in the 30s there with Jed Stewart as well. Hudson Young dealing with an injury. Got a bit of a rest in this game. If you've got him, I'd probably move off him. Jed Stewart, if you bought him, you grabbed a try there. Not a great fantasy scorer in reserve grade, but if he's going to score tries, then he's going to score tries. Like that's, there's nothing we can do about that, right? But 99 meters run, for a winger is a bit on the lower end. So if you're a believer in the Canberra attack, feeding him tries, then he could be effective. But the reserve grade numbers were about a 26 average from memory. I think 26, 27 average. So that's where I'm kind of steering clear of Jed Stewart myself. Then KO Weeks, Buller, Heath Mason. So a few less minutes there. So we did see Latu finally slip into the halves for those minutes there. Also playing in the middle forward spot. Taruva, Bird, Strange, Skelton down low there. Sasangi, really quiet in this one. Paddy and Savage with a 6-point game. He is a volatile fantasy scorer, Xavier Savage, and this was on the bottom end. Now, for this week, guys, really, it's probably a question of can you field enough guys? So I'm looking at my side and I'm thinking about, all right, Roosters players are on a bye. So if you've got a bunch of Roosters players like Nwani Tuase, Tedesco, Savala, these are guys you want to keep, right? But they're on a bye this week. You can only have 4 dead spots in your team because we're fielding a full 17. So look at those guys and you have a look at a guy like Suo Wong. He's one who's going to be out for a bit, so you could sell him. And then you go up the list and you look at players like Radley, for example, who are optional. You can keep or you could sell. And guys like Nafahu White, who, to be honest, is in great form. So you probably want to keep a guy like him. If you've got Fiketti as a cheapie, these types of guys as well, you're really looking at that. And then Rob Toyer, if you held him too. So that's a bit of a problem there. Then you look at the injury ward as well. Jaden Campbell, as it stands right now, won't play next week. If they contest the HIA, he will. Fletcher Sharp, not playing next week for sure. It seems fairly certain that he won't play. And then there's a few other players dealing with a few injuries as well. So just have a look at your team and really just try to field a good 17 this week. That's probably the big focus here. So use your trades really targeting players that you need for your team rather than targeting players that you like the look of. So if I have present the buys list this week and you need a player from a position that's not on the buy list, I would rather you get the player your team needs rather than the person that's probably the best buy. So that's the big thing to look at this week. That's what we'll target this week. And fielding 17, it's going to be a bit of a challenge this week is my expectation. So good luck this week, guys. Hopefully it was a cracker week for you. It was a bit of a mess for me. I probably dropped down the ranks a bit, but hopefully it was a good one for you. And I'll see you guys on Buy, Hold, Sell and Team List Tuesday live.